Hey everyone, this is Lisa from the Rhinestone World, and in this video we are going to be pressing an 8-foot tablecloth with a 4-foot vinyl transfer. So this whole thing is done with our Siser EasyWeed, which you can get at therinestoneworld.com, and we are pressing it on our Stahl's Hottronics 16x20 auto clam heat press. Here I am with the tablecloth. So this is an 8-foot tablecloth. So our design is going to be fairly large. I have our design. We already laid it out how it's going to be pressed right here. And this is a 4-foot design, and this is using Siser EasyWeed, which you can get at therinestoneworld.com. So we laid this out a little bit different than you typically would. So we want to make sure all of our colors are pressed proportionate. So we did something kind of different. We flipped over our design. So I flipped over the blue to make it look just like how we would cut it. So just like cutting, you cut with the carrier side down. We laid it over like this, and then each one of these pieces, we cut the carrier for the blue for it, so that each piece of this vinyl is touching our tablecloth. So we don't have to worry about quick presses or doing 20 presses for this. So if you look, I can kind of lift this up. My blue is down, so my blue is on top of everything, but I have my ice cream here. And so none of it is overlapping. So this green is touching, all of this is down. So right here, the carrier for the green is cut out, and the S is going to be touching my tablecloth. So we have this all set up. I have our TRW Magic heat tape on here, so you'll see these little pieces of tape here. So the heat tape is a thermal based tape. It's like the best Scotch tape ever. It's going to hold our design steady so that when we go and press this in stages, it won't shift. So we won't have a design that maybe is pressed correctly here, but because it wasn't taped down, it shifted and it was a little higher or lower on this side. It's going to be set, and we're all set to go. So here we are at the heat press. I have Philip and Barb helping press it, and I'm going to explain what's happening. So right now we have the first part of our design on our press. This is the Stahl's Hottronics Auto Clam. This is a 16x20 heat press. So the great thing is that once the timer goes off, it'll lift up. But for this, we're just going to kind of tack it on so we can get our design down. So you can see we have our heat tape in the corners. Don't use Scotch tape. You have to use the heat tape, otherwise it'll melt. So we're going to cover the design and we're going to start pressing. And we have our heat press set at 305 degrees, which is a great temperature for EasyWeed. So we're going to cover it, and now we're just going to bring our press down. And then once the timer goes off, our press will open back up. So that's our first press. We're going to remove the cover sheet, and then the whole tablecloth is going to be brought down. And so you'll see it's smooth where it was pressed, so it's an easy way to find out where do I start my next press. So just continue the process, bring it down. So this is our second press, and we used our cover sheet. So this is, again, is a 16x20 heat press. So if you're using a smaller one, you may have to do more presses than just these two that we've done. So now we're moving it over, and now it's just our last press. We'll just smooth that down, and then again, cover sheet, and then 15 seconds at 305. So our pressing is done. We're going to move this tablecloth over to the table and then remove the cover sheet. So when you do this, you want to peel it pretty soon. EasyWeed is a warm or cold peel, but it definitely is easier when it's warm. Cool. So check this out. We have our tablecloth, we have our design all in here, and we have a nice texture with our vinyl. A good press. So this is great to do with any of your cutters, even if you have a silhouette cameo. Because these sections are less than 12 inches, you can even cut it a long piece on your cameo. So a great addition to your business. You can easily do this and offer it for events, parties, craft fairs, any of those things. So if you have any questions, you can email us at info@therinestoneworld.com.